Hispanotech is a non-for-profit organization whose mission is to help Hispanic professionals integrate and advance their careers in Canada. We accomplish this through various ways like skill development seminars, volunteering opportunities, networking events, mentoring programs, and many more. Um, this is our speaker. We're very happy to have her here. She's very accomplished. So Gloria Pierre started her business, Clearly Speaking, in 2000 and was advised at the time that she should network and meet people. So she did and collected hundreds of business cards that produced no results. We've all been there, I think. A couple of years later, her clients were newcomers who knew no one in Toronto. They didn't know about networking because in their country, networking wasn't a thing. Gloria wanted to make it easier for her clients, so she went out to 4 networking events a week for 3 months and learned all she could. The result is her third book, ABCs of Networking, with 26 chapters from A to Z with everything you should know about networking meaningfully. If you're not comfortable networking because you're shy or you don't know how, you come to the right place. To find more information on Clearly Speaking and Gloria, you can visit the following websites. Clearlyspeaking.ca, where there are courses like Grammar Simplified, Mispronounced and Misunderstood, Accent Reduction, Self-Study, among others. Gloria's email and her LinkedIn. And please welcome Gloria Pierre.
Thank you, everyone, for being here with us. And thank you, Lucia, for the introduction. As you heard, we do networking in North America, and it is a thing now. One of the things that we don't do, however, is we don't think about people knowing us. We just want to know people, but that's not the key. So to start, what I would like to do is to ask you to write in the chat if you have more than 100 LinkedIn connections. And if you do, also write in the chat how many of them you know personally.
So most of them do have more than 100 contacts.
Right. And how many of those you know personally?
Well, they say 50%, maybe 20, 65 to 70, 60.
Oh, okay.
So it's like...
Okay. And how many of those connections know you personally? Sometimes it's not the same. You may think you know them, but they could be saying, who? Gloria? Gloria who?
It varies between 20, 60, 40, 35.
Okay, good going. So you've heard the expression, who you know matters more than what you know. But what matters the most is who knows you and wants to help you. And this should be your quest to expand your network by getting to know the connections, by getting your connections to know you. And the tips that you'll get in this next 90 minutes that we're together will start you on this quest. As mentioned earlier, what we will be covering, some of this you may already know, or maybe you will be reminded of. What is networking? Which events you should attend, managing nervousness, developing rapport quickly, communication, withdraw after you deposit, and introducing yourself. And again, as already mentioned, there will be 3 activities for which events you should attend, withdraw after you deposit, and introducing yourself. So networking is really when a group of people exchange information, contacts, and experiences for professional or social purposes. And it allows you to meet and establish relationships with people who could be mutually beneficial, where you can have mutually beneficial responses, and with people who may not have heard of you. Know that networking can happen anytime, anywhere. It is portable. And one of the things you should do as you're networking is plan to be a connector, because when you are a connector, people will know you. People will want to know you. You will notice that some of the events I will probably go through very quickly, and some of them I will spend some more time on. The ones that I'm spending more time on are the ones that I think causes the more stress if you don't know how to do them. Now, 2 days ago, I got emails from for 8 events that interested me. And 2 of them were from Hispanotech. One of them that was sent by or promoted by Hispantech is a post-budget discussion, and the other one is Art and Wine: Discover Your Inner Artist. You probably receive a lot of network invitations to networking events, and you don't know which one to go to. So with me, my schedule only allows me to attend one of these 2. So how do I decide which one to attend? I developed this networking planner to help me decide which events to attend and to prepare me for networking. Know that this planner can also be used for in-person or online events. So I filled out my planner for this one event that I want to go to, that I want to attend, post-budget discussion. Date and location, it's online, and that's May the 5th. The group profile. So because I got it from Hispanotech, I am just going to use Hispanotech information here. The group profile are these, which I got from the website. And this, you can get information from a group from their website, from any social media. My objective would be to network for social and professional purposes. And who do I want to meet? Members of Hispanotech and the speakers. The rest of this planner, we're going to fill in as we go along. Now, the most helpful questions on this planner that will help you to decide and prepare are the next 4. What is my introduction for this group? What do I want from the group, individuals, or event? What can I give to them? Once you go through these questions, you will know whether you want to attend the event or not. So this is where we're going to have the first 5 minutes activity. So you and the people you want to know or you want to meet have strengths and skills and needs and wants. So what I would like you to do is list 2 needs that you have that you can possibly get from the people that you want to meet, the people that you are networking to meet. And these needs that you identify will be the answer to the question on the networking planner: what do I want from them? I'm going to continue. So for me, what I did was I put those 2 things that I want, that I need, as answered to this question: what do I want from the group, the individuals, or the event? So I want to know what challenges they face in finding jobs, succeeding in their careers or business, right? And now to the next part, managing nervousness. We get nervous because we are shy, we are not prepared, we don't know how, whether it's how to make small talk, how to introduce ourselves, or we don't know anyone. And my partner earlier in the last activity was Stella, and she was saying that, and Stella, I hope you don't mind, that you get nervous because you don't know this, but then you don't do it, and so you don't, you still get nervous. So it's like a catch-22. You don't go to events or you don't network because you're nervous, and you're nervous because you don't go to events or you don't network. So it's definitely a catch-22. There are a lot of stressors that people face, that you all face, that will not necessarily be addressed in this session, but I will try to address as many as I can. To reduce nervousness, be curious instead of being self-conscious. When we are nervous, it's because we are putting the attention on us. You are there so people can get to know you. So be curious instead of being self-conscious. And remember the quote in the beginning: don't worry that you don't know other people. Worry that people don't know you. Greeting the other person with a hello and a smile should start a conversation. And then you take it from there. You just do what you do naturally. Don't overthink it. Just answer, smile, hello. Honestly, it gets easier as you do it. Being silent or not engaging can cause others to ignore you. What you also want to do before the event is write down a list of things that you get nervous about before an event and address them. Maybe it's that you don't know how to prepare, how to introduce yourself. After today, you will have a formula on how to introduce yourself. And so you're going to practice that over and over and over. The more prepared you are, the less nervous you're going to be. And use the network planner to be better prepared for events. The network planner that I showed you earlier has a lot of information that can help to reduce nervousness. Communication. This is one of the things that, one of the areas that people get nervous about because they're not accustomed to talking to stranger, or they don't feel comfortable talking to stranger. They don't know what to say. They don't know how to make small talk, or, even ask people for their name. So again, know what your stressors are. Coming back to communication, the listening and asking questions are two essential communication skills in networking. And listening is the ability to keep your mouth shut when someone else is talking. Most times people are talking while other people are talking. So be curious, be eager to learn about others, their hopes and desires, their work, their life outside work, and other things that are important to them. This is how you get to know them really, really well. And it's going to come into good use, as you can see later on when we are working the networking planner. The more you listen to people, the more comfortable and relaxed they become. Listen, and you will learn a lot about your conversation partners. Listening builds trust and gives you clues on how to help. Asking or answering questions. Ask questions if you don't understand. Don't assume, don't shake your head and say, oh, nonchalantly or passively as though you understand, because it could backfire. Acknowledge a question even if you don't have the answer at the time. Not acknowledging that question may seem you're ignoring the person, and the person will feel slighted. When you're asking questions, be mindful of the tone of your voice. If you don't know what to say, know how to ask questions. Because, for example, you could be at an event and the person you're talking to is talking about baseball or something to do with sports. And if you're like me, I don't know anything about sports. So instead of me leaving and not engaging in conversation with the person, if I know how to ask questions, I can get a lot of information from that person about the sport that he or she is interested in. So if you don't know what to say, know how to ask questions. Something else about questions, prepare a list of questions before you go to ask. So you can smoothly continue a conversation instead of there being awkward silence. So picture an event you've been to where there was a lot of awkward silence between you and the group, or you and someone else, and nobody knew what to say. So to bypass that, prepare a list of questions to ask. Have them in your back pocket. The prepared questions can be geared towards your objective for going to the event or for meeting the person. So for example, if you are going to the event to meet someone who knows about sports, for example, then you're going to be preparing questions to ask the person about sports. Your voice must be audible. Do not interrupt and do not be rude. Do not monopolize the conversations. Know when to start talking, when to stop, and wait for comments, share, or ask a question. Use language suitable to the event and the attendees. And please know what it is you want to say before you start talking, before you open your mouth. Because when you know what to say, then you don't ramble or you don't speak hesitantly. And when you do ramble or speak hesitantly, you're creating a not so positive impression. Everything you do and say everywhere, not only in a networking event, you create an impression. So be aware of that. Every time you open your mouth, you show your character. So be careful what you're talking about. Be careful what topics you bring up. Be careful not to show whether if you're closed-minded, for example, or if you have strong views about certain things, because people you are with may not be like-minded. So just know what it is you're saying and when to say it. A good conversationalist gets caught up in current events, probably before they go to the network, or knows how to ask questions, commands respect, is respectful, is not attention seeking, therefore they are not self-conscious, and can be entertaining and listens well. Let that be your goal, because when you are listening to someone, or if someone thinks you're a good conversationalist, they'll think that you're interesting, they'll want to get to know you better. Rapport is defined as a close and harmonious relationship in which people or groups concerned understand each other's feelings or ideas and communicate well. And in networking events, you need to develop rapport so you can get to know someone faster. You can get closer to someone or to a group. So to do that, prepare your attitude for the event. And when I say prepare your attitude for the event, if, for example, you had a rough day or a contentious day and somebody really made you angry, and you still have that attitude of being angry, do not go to the event with that attitude. If it's something that's really strong, it could be anger, it could be grief, it could be frustration, whatever negative it is, and you can't get rid of it, maybe not go to the event, because you will be creating an impression with that attitude. So you're going to the event because you want to meet people. You go with a curious mindset. So, and anticipate what is going to be coming. Be genuinely interested in the other person. Don't pretend, because they can sense it. Listen with intent. Be an engaging conversationalist. And know that people remember those they like and trust. And they will reach out to you, if not then, maybe later. When you develop rapport with other people, they will see you as someone who's assured, poised, in control, and they will want to get to know you. Remembering names. Remembering names is sometimes challenging because when people say their names, they say it fast. So for example, hello, I'm Gloria Pierre. That's 10 seconds. And if you're not familiar with the names, if they don't sound correctly, or if they are foreign to you, you are not going to remember them. So you have to slow it down when you're saying your names. So listen for it. Listen for the name that the person is saying. Say it out loud after them. Ask if you're saying it correctly. And don't shorten someone's name unless you get permission. If you forget their names, ask again. Because I'm pretty sure you've been to events where somebody said, I'm sorry, I don't remember your name. Can you tell it to me again? So it's quite okay to do that. Don't think that they'll say it once and you have to remember it. If not, you will be offending them. No. Ask again. Use their names often, but do not use it in every sentence. I know some people who use my name in every sentence when I meet them. Gloria, how are you? And Gloria, how did you know about this event? And Gloria, do you know anyone here? And Gloria, and Gloria, and Gloria. It gets monotonous and it gets annoying. I know my name, but don't use it very frequently. If you want to remember it, do not say it. Don't say the name frequently, not in every sentence. When someone calls you by your first name, you tend to like them and be open to listening to them. And when it's your turn to introduce yourself, start with your first name and then both names together. For example, hi, I'm Gloria Pierre. Instead of saying, hi, I'm Gloria Pierre. Slow it down, hi, I'm Gloria Pierre. Then you're giving that person more time and more focus to remember your name. And we're going to talk more about introductions later. Body language. Body language complements or detracts from what you're saying. If your words and actions do not match, the listeners will believe your words. So they have your words and actions have to complement. If not, you're going to be confusing people. So stand tall, sit up straight, because good posture projects confidence. If you are going into a meeting or an event and you're slouching, or you are just not exuding confidence, people will not be lining up to meet you. Everything about you should project confidence and assurance, and posture is one way to do it. Also, your facial expressions, your face should reflect the enthusiasm and passion for what you do. I talked about attitude just now. When you look at these faces, some of them have really horrible attitude. You do not want to meet these people or people with these attitudes at networking events, because you're going to be staying away from them. So just let your face reflect your passion and enthusiasm for what you do and your joy to be there. Eye contact conveys interest, attention, and respect. And smiles. Smiles are welcoming and increase your believability. They're universal and they are very rarely misunderstood. I don't know if any of you have ever misunderstood a smile. Maybe a smirk, but not a smile. And last point on body language, dress to suit the event. Don't show up as a professional event dressed like this, for example, or this. Dress to suit the event. If it's a barbecue, then you dress to suit that event. Okay, withdraw after you deposit. This may sound as though I'm going to be talking about banking or finance, but really networking is like a bank account. You have to deposit before withdraw, just like a bank account. You can't go to the bank and withdraw $100 if there's no money in the account. When you open the account, you have to put something in. When you meet someone for the first time, that's like an empty bank account. So don't think that you can withdraw from it. You have to help them first, because the withdrawing is asking, the depositing is helping. So when you meet someone for the first time, don't ask them for help. Don't think that you can withdraw from that trust account. You have to get to know them and you have to deposit into that account. And you can do it by listening to them and learning how you can help them. That's why you have to be curious about who they are, what they do, what's their life after work, what sports they like, what values they have, what they are looking for. And then when you know all of that, then you can deposit into that account. Now, we all want something from someone and we all have something to give. It could be information, a tip, advice, recommendation, or even doing something for someone else. So when you listen to people, you get to know them and you get to understand them and you get to know what they want. And when you know what they want, help them to get it. Every time you help them to get something that they want, you're depositing into that trust account. So always give before you ask for something. And if you're like everybody else, you find it very awkward to ask people for help. By depositing into this account, when you are ready to withdraw or ask for help, you are not going to be, it's not going to feel awkward and you're not going to be uncomfortable, because every time you do something for someone, they want to reciprocate. They are thinking, oh my gosh, I have to do something for this person. This person is always helping me. So when you are ready to ask, they would be willing to reciprocate. They will be willing to help you. When you are depositing, don't expect anything from them at the time. When you are depositing, maybe the person you're depositing or helping may not have something to give you. Maybe they don't have what you're asking for, but they may know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who has the information to get you what you want. So by depositing into the account first, you are developing rapport with that person. Now, you may think that what you have to give is of no value or it is of little value, but it is valuable to the person who needs it at that moment. So don't disregard what you may have to give. When you do ask, again, like I said, you will not feel awkward or self-conscious. And the more people you help, the more people will want to give back and reciprocate. So focus on getting to know the other person and how you can give, how you can help them, how you can deposit into that account. Depositing first makes them more likely to help when you ask. It's just like if somebody you don't know come up to you and ask you for help, you may not want to help that person, or you may have reservations or qualms about helping that person because you know nothing about them. But if you do know something about them, if they took the time to develop a relationship with you, you are more likely to help them. It will be the same with you on the other side. So this brings us to our second activity. And in this activity, you're going to list 2 ways you can help others. And it could be information about events, introduce them to someone who can help them. It could be copywriting, editing, whatever. And again, this does not necessarily have to be only related to business or career. It could be related to anything, because you could be somebody could be asking if you know a good vet. This has nothing to do with business or your career, but in developing that relationship with that person, they may be able to help you with whatever else you want. And okay, so I'm completing my network planner with what I can give to people, which is the answers that you would have gotten when you answer a question. So what I can give to people, for example, free communication assessment and quick tips. So as you can see, I'm filling up this network planner, and now we're going to move to the introduction part, which will require some of the information here. So introductions really an exchange of personal information between strangers, after which they are no longer strangers, which is exactly what happened in my breakout sessions. I met people I didn't know before, and after chatting with them, they are no longer strangers. And I'm sure you found the same. So when I meet someone after an exchange of names, I usually initiate the conversation by making small talk and then moving to learning more about the person by asking open questions. In answering the questions, the person is giving me information to customize my introduction. And so I have the introductions in 3 steps. The first step is asking questions of yourself. And you have to be crystal clear about what you do or what each of your product or service does. That should be does. Who can benefit from your experience? What problems do they have that you can help them solve? How would you do it? What benefits would they get? And what other benefits or serendipitous benefits would they get? The second step is the formula. So I work with whoever your target audience is, who have problems with whatever is stopping them. What I do, so here you're going to state your specific service that would ease their pain, so that what the immediate benefit they would receive. This means what are the possible long-term benefits? Now, this in itself does not make a lot of sense, but I give an example here. I'm Gloria Pierre with Clearly Speaking. I work with consultants who want to be more articulate, so this is their problem, who want to be more articulate and assertive. What I do is show them how to use a simple formula to say what they mean and identify confidence sapping habits. As a result, they command attention and respect when they speak. So I'm going to go back to this slide before. Who can benefit from your experience? What problems do they have that you can help them solve? How would you do it? What benefits would they get? And what serendipitous benefits would they get? And you will all put the answers to those questions in the bracketed parts here. And this is what you're going to come up with. You're going to come up with an introduction. And again, I am Gloria Pierre with Clearly Speaking. I work with consultants who want to be more articulate and assertive. What I do is show them how to use a simple formula to say what they mean and identify confidence sapping habits. As a result, they command attention and respect when they speak. And this is where you're going to get a chance to get some of this information or learn some of this information. The third step are tips. Keep your introduction short and simple to hold your audience's attention. Make what you do sound interesting. Write it out, read it out loud. Does it make sense? Does it flow? Is it what you really do? Rewrite it again until you're satisfied with it. Weed out unnecessary words and awkward construction. Sharpen the focus. Rehearse it until it sounds natural, conversational, and effortless. And to do that, you have to practice and practice and practice and practice and practice. And speak at a pace that allows you to stay calm. This is the most time-consuming part of introductions, the putting it together, to get all the information that you need here to be able to produce this. You are not going to get it all today. You have a lot of work to do with all the activities that you've engaged in so far, because I'm sure for the activities that you've had so far, you couldn't come up with information right away. So you have to think about it and write down all the things that you could do to help people and all the things that you need from people. Not only two, I just had two or one here because of time. Because again, you don't know who you'll be meeting and what they will want. So the handout or the link will be in the chat again for this activity. And what you want to do is write out one area of expertise you want to showcase. What problem would it solve? And I was just doing this for members of Hispanotech, but not everybody who's on this call is on Hispanotech members. So who would benefit from it and how would they benefit? So I work with, in my example, consultants who have problems with what I do is so that means, right? And all of this will be in your handout, which you will get later, right? We didn't want to give it to you now because it could be confusing. So coming back to the networking planner, you will get all the information that you have looked for or gathered from the questions. What do I want from the group and what can I give them? Between these two, you will now be able to write out your introduction. Like I said, it's not going to happen in 10 minutes. It's something that will take a little bit of time. It is time consuming. What you also want to do is to have 3 or 4 introductions ready for different kinds of people. So I have here consultants. I think in your handout, there is one for an introduction to real estate agents. So think of who your service or who you can help and write introductions for each one of those groups or people. Because one introduction does not fit all. And also at a networking event, you don't know who you will be meeting. So I could have this introduction for consultants, but who I'm meeting at an event may not be consultants. Maybe just one consultant will be there. And what do I do with the rest? So make sure you have more than one introduction, always. And again, for each one, rehearse them over and over and over and over until they roll off your tongue and they sound natural and you sound confident saying it. Now, the quote in the first slide, don't worry that you don't know other people, worry that other people don't know you. So this is another quote that I found: opportunity dances with those who are already on the dance floor. By reducing your nervousness by having a powerful introduction, by knowing about your body language, by knowing which events to hone in on, which are the best events to go to. All of these things will put you on the dance floor. And once you are on the dance floor, you will see opportunities. People will bring opportunities to you. People will want to know you. So that's the end of the presentation. And I think what will happen now, I will turn this over to Carla or Lucia, sorry.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much, Gloria. That was amazing. There's one question. How do you make sure it doesn't sound like an interrogation?
By the tone of your voice, the kind of questions that you're asking, and also the questions that you're asking must be relevant to the information that you want or to the networking event. It should also suit the person you're asking.
Okay, awesome. We have a couple more. We have like four questions. One, can we connect through LinkedIn? Yes, of course you can. You can look for Gloria's LinkedIn. It was shared at the beginning, but it's Gloria Pierre, right? So of course you can look for her.
Awesome.
Yeah, there's another, that's good, see, doing like networking already. I learned different aspects that I have not learned before. That's a comment. What about cultural things? For example, Latin people usually use jokes in their interaction, even with people they recently met.
Okay, so you know the old saying, when in Rome, do as Romans do. So if the person you're speaking to is not from your culture, whatever, like your jokes will fall flat because they wouldn't understand it, or they may feel offended because you don't really know them. So you have to really know, who you're meeting, and also play it safe. Play it safe. And when I say play it safe, I mean introduce yourself, have a chat, ask some questions. You will also learn from the person what they are like, because from the tone of their conversation or the nature of their conversation, the words they use, the way they speak, their body language will tell you a lot. So you have to be aware of those cues that they're giving you. Every time someone speaks, they're giving you clues as to as to who they are and how they want to be treated. So that's something you have to be aware of. But when you meet someone, don't immediately assume they're from your culture, or that they know everything that you know, or that they do everything that you do.
Okay.
Observe first.
There's two more questions.
Sure.
Tips on lessening the language barrier. Are there any tips?
Don't speak fast, slow it down so that you can pronounce all the letters in your words. And also, there are words with T and D at the end. Make sure you're pronouncing those T's and D's. And listen to the way other people speak, or I should say, listen to the news and speak like them. Don't speak like everybody else, because in my business, people come to me and say they want to speak like Canadians. And I said, no, don't speak like Canadians, because because just because we speak English, that does not mean that we know how to speak it well. So be careful who you're learning it from.
Okay. And there's a final question, how to make it clear that you're not asking for a job, just to connect and build relationship. How can we make it clear that we're not asking for a job?
Don't even mention that you're looking for a job. More than likely, the person will ask a question and say, because you're talking, and then they will want to ask you questions. And if they ask, you can, or not even if they ask, you can find a way to let them know what your situation is.
How do you tell someone that we can help them?
When you say we can help them, you mean the person can
Yeah,
help
the person.
them?
Yeah,
Okay.
that
Okay, so how can
I can help you. That, yeah.
Right. Well, it depends. So if somebody is asking or mentioning that they are looking for something, you can just jump in and say, hey, I know someone who had that same problem, and this is what they did, and I can give you the link to the website they went to, or I can connect you with that person. Say it out. Don't be shy about saying it, because if people are talking about something that they need or they have a problem, they would welcome any help they can get.
Thank you so much, Gloria. Moving forward, as you know, Hispanotech is a non-for-profit organization and volunteers are the heart and soul of all activities. That is why we want to thank the volunteers that made this event possible. Thank you so much for all your hard work. And if you want to participate, just be aware you can also become a volunteer. And to learn more, just remember you can follow us on social media, visit our website, and become a member. And thank you so much, everyone. See you on the next event. Thank you so much, Gloria.
You're very welcome.